Hi, friends, and welcome to the Next Best Thing podcast. I'm your host, Andrea Cline-Thomas. Now, I am here to help you create strategies to navigate all of your career and life transitions. And as we like to say around here, a pivot and a plan B are not required. Merry Christmas to all who celebrate. As you can see, I got dressed up for you. This never happens. You should feel very special. Now, I hope you're having a great week, a great holiday, and getting to spend some quality time with your loved ones. A special shout out, though, to my girl, Nancy DeVille, who is a Christmas baby. Happy birthday, boo. I know it's hard out here for all of you with birthdays around the holidays. So we're going to have an extra special shout out to all of the Capricorns. We appreciate you all, and we see you, and we don't think it's a good idea to double up and give you one gift for both your birthday and for Christmas. That's not right. People need to stop doing you like that. All right, I digress. Now, if you've listened to the past solo episode, you know that by the time that you hear this, I will actually not be in this. I will be on the beach in sunshine because my family, we love Jesus, but we quit Christmas a few years ago. We don't really make a big deal about gifts. We really embrace the idea that the end of the year should be a fun and restful time and a time that we really spend time with each other. So that's what we're going to do it. That's what we're going to be doing. And I love it. I love it. So I'm just going to stop by for a quick minute. So guess what? So we can act up. Now, if you've been listening to these episodes, you know that is how I end every podcast, with the act up segment. It's usually the last 5 minutes. And let me tell you what, it is pure gold. ACT, those are my initials. And that's what actually people call me in the workplace a lot of times, especially in the newsrooms and even in high school. I think that's when it really started. But beyond it being catchy, I wanted to make sure that at the end of every episode, that all of you watching and listening had actionable steps that you could implement in your life today to get you from where you are to where you want to be. Now, I really hope 2024 is the year of acting up, getting outside of your comfort zone, taking up all the space, while also being really extra kind to yourself. Now, I wanted to run back some of the moments from past guests that really replay in my mind. We're going to start with none other than Bozoma St. John. She really needs no introduction, but if you're unfamiliar with her, she's a Hall of Fame marketer. She's been the chief marketing officer at a lot of the brands that are a part of our everyday lives. But when we spoke, she was actually in a new season that she was defining for herself. And I asked her what questions she's considering as she moves forward.
One of the major questions, which I think sometimes we're afraid to answer, is like, what do I want? What do I want? Like, for real, though.
Mm-hmm.
And be honest with yourself. And it's not just like the job title or the thing, but it's like, what do I want? Do I want to be powerful? I want to be respected. I want to be wealthy. I want to be inspiring. I want to be envied. Ooh, nobody wants to admit that. It's like, but be honest with yourself, though. I'm not saying you got to go write that in your bio on Instagram.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? But be honest with yourself. Like, what is it that you want?
Right.
And that's the first question that is the hardest to answer, because we're so used to not being honest with ourselves about what it is we really want. And then when you do that, you're able to then start putting the pieces together of what you're going to do in order to get to that thing. Because let's say you want to be respected in your field.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who are the people you respect in that field? And what are they doing that makes you respect them? So let's just say that you want to be a podcaster.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to be respected in this space. Right? You want to be hard-hitting interviews that nobody can mess with. Okay. So then it's like, okay, well, who's doing that in this space? Why are they getting so many listens?
Mm-hmm.
Why are they so popular? And when you listen to them, it's like, what is it? Is it that they're funny? Is it that they get big guests? Is it that they are like using incredible like clips and videos? Like, what is it? Like, you got to dissect it. And then once you start to figure that out, you start to understand, like, what do I have that can either do that thing? So you can't pretend. Again, more honesty with self. Again, this is not for everybody else to know, but it's like, you got to be honest with yourself. Maybe you're not funny, so don't try to be.
Right. We see that
You know
all
what I'm
the
saying?
time, though, right?
You're not funny. So why are you over here trying to crack jokes like that other person who's getting the 1,000,000 downloads a month?
Yeah.
You're not funny, so don't do that. Maybe they're booking really, really big guests, and you're like, oh, how do I do that? Because I don't have access. Well, then that's the job you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because like, okay, you want to be respected. And one of the ways you see that people are getting respect is because of the guests that they have on their show. So then you need to figure out who are the 3 people that I can get, not can, that I want to get, who will give me the respect I need so I can get more.
Mm-hmm.
And then go get them relentlessly,
Mm-hmm.
constantly, unapologetically, without ceasing. Get those people. That's the kind of plan that you need. And so when people ask me, like, oh, well, how do I get to the next thing? Or how do I create my brand? Or, you know, how do I plan out my ambition? I'm like, I'm not going to tell you what the plan is because I don't know what your truth is. And you're probably not even telling yourself.
Ooh.
So tell
Ooh.
yourself.
It'd be like the Regina Hall. Like this. Now, so for those of you who are listening, you know that Regina Hall meme where she puts her hands over her head? Well, that's what I recreated with Bose, and it was actually really hilarious. And so if you have no idea what I'm talking about, then go ahead and just watch this episode on YouTube. You know, some of these guests, the things that they say just really snatch all of our edges. That was one of the moments. You see it like hit me with a wave. All right, next up, forever journalist, my boo, Don Champion. He shared how he healed after being in a toxic work environment. And here's how he says all of y'all need to act up.
One of my photographers in Jackson told me something. Jackson, Mississippi was my second job, and it stuck with me to this day. I tell it anytime I can. But he's like, humans are the only animals that don't listen to their first instincts because we're so smart. We second guess everything, like and we don't react to things. And this goes into, what I was saying about just listening to that voice, like listen to your body too. Like, I have a friend who works at a station, and she's like, Don, like I literally get at the thought of like when they call me, my body just tenses up. Like I feel horrible. Like it's not a good feeling. And I'm like, listen to that. Your body is telling you that this is an unhealthy space for you, And so, yeah, I would just say like, listen to your body, listen to those voices in you that are telling you that this is not for you. And just like, know that you will be okay. You have all the skills to make you successful.
Howard University's former president, Dr. Wayne Frederick, adds that the mission and our gifts are so much bigger than us.
The amplification of other people's humanity ultimately is our calling, regardless of what we get into, whether it's finance, education, it doesn't matter. The pandemic taught us that, right? Look at the people we probably totally were invisible to us as we went about our daily lives and how dependent we were on them, and we are still, and we have been for so long. They just got an opportunity to be spotlighted, and so regardless of what you do, I think you've got to recognize that opportunity. And then the last thing is, I'm obsessed about the journey of life because I don't think there's any destination you'll come upon that'll completely fulfill you. And so I think not letting the day-to-day become mundane, but going after it with enthusiasm and all the energy possible, so that at night when you lay down, you can ask yourself, what didn't I do? What would I have done differently? And get up the next day and make sure that you execute on both of those.
That's right. We really have to think about the long game here. And to sustain it, Stephanie Perry explains why community is so crucial.
Because you're going to have plenty of people, no matter what change you want to make in your life, you're going to have plenty of people telling you, oh, that's stupid. That's impossible. That's ridiculous. That's a big mistake. no matter what I don't care if you're talking about changing your hair color or changing your country of residency, right? You're going to hear the other message. So you need to get in community with people who are going to support you, who are going to feed your faith, right? And not speak to the fear. You need to get in community with people who are going to feed that faith. So get in community. Also, I'm always going to say free time. Give yourself some free time. Find something in your life, in your week, that you can just stop doing. I'm so serious about that. I don't care if it's your laundry. Find something in your life that you can stop doing. Somebody else can do it. And give yourself some free time. Free time is the antidote to all of it. So those two things, community plus free time, will change everything for you. Changed everything for me.
In Stephanie's episode, she discussed how to take a career break, sabbatical, or move abroad. Let me tell you, it is the most watched episode by far. And I didn't really get what she was saying at the time about how free time is a game changer until it changed the game for me. I'm in that space actually right now, and it's kind of weird to say, but I needed space and time to just think. And if you think about it, we're always just going from one thing to the next to the next. 2024 for me is going to be so much more structured, which helps keep me calm, all because I paused and took a moment to really sit and think about it. And also to plan. We're going to talk about that more later. And talking about planning, that's exactly what Rochelle Carey did. You know, like when you meet someone for the first time and you all just click, that's what it was like with Rochelle, who shared her just personal journey to motherhood with us.
If you are stuck, ask yourself why you're stuck. And if you are stuck because of external forces, they don't matter. If it's something internal, then you need to deal with that and unpack that and get moving. But I cannot stress enough that do not let what family, friends, society, and I'm using that in quotes, whatever, don't let that factor into how you build your life, and stop waiting. Because usually when you're waiting, it's out of fear, and fear ain't worth a damn. It ain't worth a damn.
You know, we need to let that one sink in for a minute. You know, now I'm going to be putting all of the links to the full episodes from our guests in the show notes. And it's really worth checking out if you missed them the first time around. Again, have an amazing, amazing restful week. If you can, just turn on the news or be extra kind to the person in the stores or to anyone you encounter who has to work during the holidays. I had to do it for so long, and it was really hard, for me at least, to be away from family during the holidays. So show some kindness and love and appreciation to those you encounter. Now, we are going to be back next week, our last episode in 2023. We're going to be back with a special guest who I can't wait as we ring in the new year. Again, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Always remember, your next is within reach. Thanks for listening to The Next Best Thing with Andrea Cline-Thomas, a Mountain Court Media production. The music was written, recorded, and produced by Gavin Casey, also known as Dark Purple. Now, if you like what you heard, please subscribe, give us a 5-star rating, and write a comment on your favorite podcast platform. And don't forget to share it with friends. Now, I hope this episode helps you on your journey. See you next time.